My research normally deals with questions about how to deal with the legacies of large-scale human rights violations, mostly those that took place in contexts of ongoing armed conflicts or in the hands of authoritarian regimes. This is what we call transitional justice. And typically, transitional justice is considered to consist of 5 elements: judicial proceedings, truth recovery, memorialization, reparations, and measures of non-recurrence, which could be institutional reform, educational reform, etc. Now, what's interesting is that in recent decades, we have seen that these elements of transitional justice are increasingly being used in very different kinds of justice struggles. Justice struggles where there has been no political transition, where there has been no peace agreements, and where the kinds of human rights violations that are being addressed are of a very different nature. We could think, for example, of reparations for slavery in the United States, calls to that end. We could think of Canada's Truth Commission on Indian residential schools. But we could also think of, for example, calls to install certain TJ elements to deal with the homelessness crisis at a city level in, for example, Montreal. All of these show that transitional justice seems to be becoming ever more important, potent, in a wide variety of justice struggles, but we're not quite sure how. So my research, on the one hand, looks at what it means for the field of transitional justice that it is being used in such a wide variety of cases. How does that affect what we understand transitional justice to be, what we want it to do, how we believe it operates? But it also focuses on the practice and how we can actually ensure that the mechanisms of transitional justice that we have at our disposition become more relevant to those implementing them as part of their justice struggle. So my project here will focus on that nexus between theory and practice, and it will notably try to ensure that our theories of transitional justice continue to capture that rapidly evolving practice.